Hello, everyone, and welcome to this reading. So, today I was just sitting down and shuffling my tarot deck, and I pulled the Wheel of Fortune and the Strength card as the two first cards as I was tuning into the energy of like what does spirit want you to know right now. So I was sort of like, okay, yeah, we're starting with strong with some major arcana. And then I kept on shuffling and pulling cards, you guys, and we got all major arcana. All right. Wow. So starting out with your spread on the left side, we have the Hermit, Justice, the World, the Wheel of Fortune right there in the center, Strength, the Hanged Man, and the Emperor, finishing with the Emperor. Oh my gosh, you guys. So the energy, wow, this is a shift in timelines. You just shifted timelines. I feel like there was something that you did that shifted your energy internally, and it just has this cascading effect, almost like a waterfall, where it's built up so much momentum now. The Wheel of Fortune, something has shifted, and you might even like walk outside your house or like go out to somewhere that you often go, and you might see the world differently. Do you know, and that's a sign I'm seeing that you've shifted timelines. Do you know when you've like, I don't know, you walk past the same park, I don't know, every day, and then one day you walk past it and you realize that there's a tree there that you've never noticed before? Have you ever had that experience? Or I don't know, you're you just like never noticed something in this office that you've always worked in. You're like, have the walls always been painted yellow? And everyone's like, of course. And you're like, what? How did I not? It's that kind of experience where all of a sudden you see something that has supposedly always been there, but you're like, I swear this has never been there before, and I'm only just noticing it now. There's something like this, which is like a sign that you've switched timelines, okay? It's kind of like the Mandela effect, if any of you have heard of it, where everyone can remember the past, but remember it differently than what it is now, like depicted as. It's sort of like something like people remembered, it's called the Mandela effect after Nelson Mandela because people falsely remembered him dying in prison in the 1980s, even though he actually passed away in 2013. And there's also like other things, such as like a line in a film, everyone remembers it one way, but it's actually in the film been different. And it's this kind of trippy thing where timelines can kind of twist and turn and change around us. And that's sort of a cultural or collective timeline shift energy that people have noted, the Mandela effect. But I'm seeing something like this might happen in your life where you're going to walk around in your life somewhere, might be outside your house, might be inside your house, might be at work, in an office, somewhere you always go, a shop you always go to, a park you always go to, and you're going to see it differently. And you're going to be like, wait, was this always here? Was this always this way? And people around you might be like, yeah, of course it was. But you're going to be like, I swear that it was not this way last week or every other time I've been here. I've never seen this. That spirit saying that experience is a sign that you have switched timelines. And I'm seeing you already have. If you're receiving this video at the time you receive it, like you have just switched timelines. You have just moved from one space to another. And you did it starting here with the Hermit, okay? You did it effortlessly through some kind of an internal shift. You did some kind of shift. You did some kind of magic. This is some kind of magic that you've just done to switch timelines, because this timeline that you just switched to is so phenomenal, you guys. We're finishing the spread with the Emperor, and that feels like the result of this timeline shift is that you are going to be moving forwards with a lot of speed and a lot of personal power. You're going to be moving forwards in your power and taking a lot of action. The Emperor is the archetype of the masculine in the tarot, okay? And the masculine is action taking, the masculine is doing, whereas the feminine is more about being, right? It's that different energy. So Spirit's saying this timeline shift is allowing you to take action in a massive way. Like I keep saying massive, don't I? But that's what I'm feeling. It feels like such a big energy here that has shifted with all of this major arcana. I almost feel like, how do I put it all into words? The energy here feels phenomenal. It just feels huge. So something very significant has just opened for you. Like I'm seeing the floodgates have opened. I keep seeing a huge wash of water, like a huge river of water or floodgates, a huge flow of water, a waterfall. Something has been released inside of you with the Hermit, and it's creating a massive change in your life. I feel like many of you with Strength and the Hangman have been really in this sort of dance with the universe around divine timing and learning about control and surrender with the Hangman and Strength. It's sort of like, how do I know when to push forwards and really assert my will with strength, my willpower, and really try to make something happen? And when do I just let go and, hang upside down and receive the wisdom of the universe with the Hanged One? How do you know when to let go and rest and when to fight and push forwards and try to create something. So you have done something about this balanced energy. You've come into some kind of balance with justice. You've done some kind of magic here, though, because this kind of magic is, it's like this perfect balance. It creates this field for manifestation that is so potent because you've done some kind of balancing energy within yourself where you're learning about those two forces of energy, those two sort of opposing energies of like the masculine, the feminine, the pushing and the releasing, the surrender, and also the will, the action, the control, like taking control and then releasing control. My gosh, it's such a dance, it's like really, really interesting energies to play around with. And you may have found that you naturally fall on one side. You might find that you naturally fall on the side of more masculine, where you want to take control of everything in your life, maybe type A, and find it really hard to just let go and surrender. Or you might find that you're a little bit more on the feminine side, where maybe you aren't really, having enough structure or discipline to keep you feeling safe and grounded as you do flow with the changes of life. It's sort of like you might feel like okay, I actually need to take more control of my life and where I want to go. Some of you might feel like that. Some of you might be learning about letting go of control, or it might just be both. But either way, something has now come into balance. This is the message Spirit's telling you. Something has now come into balance between these two opposing energies of control and surrender. Really interesting, okay? Because we don't want too much of either. We always want the balance and that perfect union between those two sides, those opposing forces. So this timeline shift is creating action in your life, though. It's creating the opportunity for you to take a lot of action. This could be productivity. This could be on a business, on some kind of project that you've always wanted to work on. This could be really taking action as in like living your dreams. I feel like this could be the manifestation of your dreams rather than it being up in your mind, in your visions, in your visualizations. This is the actual embodiment of those visions. This is the actual getting to actually embody the things that you have been envisioning and visualizing and manifesting for yourself. So Spirit's message for you today is that you've just changed timelines. It's not gonna happen. It's already happened. It came about through some kind of an inner shift. And Spirit's even saying maybe take a look at like, what did you do differently recently or in the past couple of days? Or did you just suddenly notice something like, oh, I feel lighter, or I feel happier, or I feel more clarity, or something has shifted? What have you done? And you don't need to know, because with the Hermit, it's likely going to be, you might have done it intentionally, or it might have just happened, and suddenly things feel different, or you feel like you can access things in a different way. I feel like you're letting go of some kind of a fight. You may have felt like you had to really try to control things. Things may have felt kind of chaotic, and it may have felt really hard to know, like, do I try to take control or do I surrender to this? But Spirit's saying the way that you've been dealing with the past, I want to say the past like 3 or 4, 5, 6 months, you've done really well, because there may have been something that felt like it was outside of your control over the past few months. And it may have felt like, oh, am I doing the wrong thing because I'm not getting the results that I want? But it may have just been things outside of your control time and time again, like, you know, events that just seemingly happen, and you're not consciously, contributing to it, but subconsciously, of course, there are points of attraction that you are a vibrational match to experiencing these events. So Spirit's saying Spirit's highlighting the past few months that you've experienced chaos in some way, or disruption, resistance to your plans, maybe things not going the way you wanted in some way, not being able to put that masculine emperor will energy into action where you're being productive or working towards something, or getting, I don't know, staying on some kind of plan or staying to a routine or structure. It may have felt like impossible, and there may have just been so many things manifesting that just somehow keep getting in the way. And see, I just like hit the tripod as I said that. It was just like confirmation, am I right? So Spirit's saying there's a resolution to that. This new timeline you've just stepped into, it's just happened. There's something about the resolution with the World card, the Justice card, of the resistance, the chaos energy that kept on getting in the way and causing disruptions or delays or changes to plans or doors closing in your face or things getting, shut down. There was something that was working itself out over the past few months, and Spirit's saying you've handled it really well, even though it may have tested you, or you may have thought, oh, am I not doing good enough? I'm not, something, you may have been really hard on yourself about it or been judgmental of yourself. But Spirit's saying it was unavoidable. There was something karmic about it with justice. You were karmically kind of needing to experience this chaos, and it was sort of the fallout of the ending of a cycle as well with the world. There was sort of a bit of a stormy energy as the cycle was ending, and as you were closing the door to that, there was sort of like some things getting churned up. So it might have been kind of a rocky ride. You may have felt like you were surfing, or you were like standing on on uneven ground or something. The ground beneath your feet was sort of moving around, and you weren't certain or sure of anything. But Spirit's saying that you handled it really well. You really did. And you don't have to worry about, oh, am I not doing good enough or that kind of thing, because you're actually in such a powerful position. It's so funny. This is insanely powerful. And I feel like you don't quite realize it. You've just done some kind of magic or some kind of miracle. You just had some kind of an internal shift that is making way for a totally different path for you. This timeline is going to look different, like actually look different to you. Like I said, you're going to notice things on this timeline where you're like, is that, was that always here? Or you might even look at the mirror and think, I look different today, because you're embodying more of yourself. You're embodying more of like a spiritual sort of essence of yourself. It's really nice. It's sort of transcending the earth. It's more of your soul's light coming through you. People might also mention to you like, oh, you look different, or you're looking really good. There might be some comments on your appearance, or you might feel really this new timeline is calling for maybe a makeover. You need to look different. You need to cut your hair different or wear different clothes. There's something about this timeline where you're going to really feel its presence, and you're going to be like, what? Things are different now. It's time for me to live differently. You might even surprise yourself actually about your tastes and preferences on this timeline. There might be something about this timeline where you didn't realize, oh, I really like this, or I really desire to go here, or I really want to try this thing out, or I'm craving like chili or something. There might be something like this where this new timeline is going to bring in new spices, new kind of flavors to your life. Yeah, it's definitely going to bring in the new with all of this major arcana. Spirit's saying the past is the past, leave the past in the past, okay? I really feel this new timeline is going to be about new things coming into your life and entering your life. And I feel like Spirit's saying kind of get excited about the new, get excited, get ready for the new. So this new timeline, there is a removal as well of something that was really keeping you feeling stuck, delayed, stagnant, resistant. There was some kind of resistance in the energy field, or things kept getting, I don't know, delayed or put off, something like this, or it just wasn't working out. Something you kept trying to do just wasn't working out, just wasn't getting views or getting traction or something of this kind. Okay, so this new timeline, that is not a thing anymore. There's something about the flow. Like I said, the floodgates have opened, like all this energy is moving now. You've released some kind of block, and the chaos that you've experienced over the past few months, Spirit saying it's going to calm down now. You're not going to have to experience that so much. Really, oh, it's going to be a lot calmer, although there is a lot of change. This change is very much in alignment with your path, with your soul's energy. So there's going to be a sense of divine order to this change. It's not going to feel overwhelming, even though people say, oh, when, things change, it can be quite overwhelming. But I'm just seeing something about the way that things change. In this case, it's not overwhelming. It's just like divine, divine order. Like things almost destined, it should have always been this way almost. Wow. So yeah, something's being put into divine order for you. You're ending a period where things may have felt chaotic or rocky, or things were delayed, or you had a lot of frustration or resistance towards doing something. This timeline you're on is really about productivity, getting things done, being really productive, taking a lot of action towards your dreams and your goals, or like sticking to a schedule or a routine or some kind of a plan, or, some kind of restriction. If it's like a diet plan or something like that, I'm seeing as well. Something that might take willpower, that kind of thing. For some of you, that could be what this is about. But for a lot of you, this is product. I keep hearing productivity. Like I want to be productive. I want to get things done, execute my ideas, something like this. And there was something that maybe was blocking it or delaying it. All right, everyone, that is the end of the reading for today. I do hope that you enjoyed it. If you would like to check out more of my work, I would really recommend my Union Within light language tape for this reading if you resonate with this reading. It feels perfectly fitting for the reading, so I'll link it down below. You can read more about it and see if it might be right for you. It is a really beautiful tape. I'm sending you all so much love and light. Take care.